Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, and the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand.
Just the way they're ushering people off the footpath.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the road over here, could you please make sure you give a bit of space for the Governor-General to come through, please, to get down to the rear. Thank you.
All right, Mino Tato, please be seated. Tēnā rā koutou katoa. Kia whai karoria kia ihoa. Mi ona mano mātua tama wairua tapu me ngā anahera pono ko te māngai ai. Your Excellency, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reedy, Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, tēnā kōrua, nau mai haere mai. Ki tā mātou tohu, kia rātou ko ngaro ki te pō, ko oi manawa. Haere mai I rongi te karanga a mātou nei, ki te takiwā nei a ngai tahi me te kaunihera a tautahi a tā mātou mea. Haere mai, nau mai. Ngā kaunuhi o Matariki, ko hui hui mai nei, tēnā koutou, haere mai, tauti mai rā. Ngā kaunuhi kitea o ngā whānau pani. Tēnei te whakatau o te iwi o ngaitahu ki a koutou. Nō reira, me whakamaumahare i ngā wā o mua. O mā te whanaunga ko ngaro ki te pō, ā kia whakanui, ngā hononga kua hu mai nei i nei tau te kau. Ngāre i nai nei me anga whakamua. If we reflect on the last decade, I think we understand this about ourselves, that we have managed through because of our families and our communities, and that unlike the rest of the world, our differences are less than the relationships that we have built that now bind us to a common future, and the destiny of Canterbury rests with us. We also understand the importance of giving thanks and expressing our gratitude to all New Zealanders for their aroha and patience. Nō reira, kia rata katoa, tēnā koutou, kei te mihi a ngaitau me tātou o tautahi ki a koutou katoa. Nō reira, piki te ora, piki te kaha, piki te māramatanga.
Kororia, hareruia, kia iho o ngā mano, ki te kahui ari, ki wairua, ko te mangai hei tōtoko mai, te arepa, te omeka, tōtoko tia mai te rohu nei, piriwiri tua hamu era, ka puta ka ora e.
Kia tau te aroha anō me te rangi Māria, kei rongi a tātou katoa.
Ena mana, ena reo, e ro rangatira mā, tēnei te mihi kia koutou, i te kōpapa o te rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. Your Excellency, Prime Minister, Ministers and Members of Parliament, past and present, fellow mayors and councillors past and present, especially Sir Bob Parker, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, together with all the dignitaries and everyone who has gathered today, and a special welcome back to the HMNZS Canterbury, which is in port today as it was 10 years ago. I stand alongside Dr. Te Marito Opoko of Te Ngāi to welcome you to Oimanawa, the Canterbury Earthquake National Memorial, on the 10th anniversary of the earthquake that devastated our region. I acknowledge in particular the bereaved family members and those whose injuries or trauma caused that day have created scars, seen and unseen. And I acknowledge those who came to rescue people with courage and compassion. We have all been moved by the stories we have heard and seen in the lead up to today, and we thank you, each of you, for sharing them with us all. I would also like to acknowledge those that are joining us by watching the live stream of the service, including those who were planning to be with us in Christchurch, but sadly could not be here for this very special anniversary. I especially wanted to mention all the Japanese family members who I last year met in Japan and who so wanted to be here. We are forever connected by this tragedy, and we do not forget you even when we are apart. You are with us in spirit. As the memorial wall states, we remember those who died, those who were hurt, and those who experienced loss. We offer our thanks to those who came for us, to those who risked their lives for us, and to those who supported us. Together, we are stronger. The theme chosen by the Quake Families Trust for today is Te Tiro Whakamori kia haere whakamoa. This whakatauki invites us to walk towards the future with our eyes on the past. For me, this reminds us of the importance of learning the lessons of that day so that the world we live in is a safer and better place. That is how we honour the memory of all that was lost a decade ago and build a legacy for the future. And as we look to our future, we can always be reassured by the way our communities came together and continue to come together, and the love and support we receive from around New Zealand and across the world. We feel that today and are grateful indeed. It is this compassion and humanity that enables hope and optimism to shine through even the most challenging of times. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the Quake Families Trust, who have contributed so much over the past 10 years to keep the memories of their loved ones alive and who help us come together on each anniversary of February the 22nd, 2011. I invite Professor Man Alkazi to speak on their behalf. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa.
Kia ora. On behalf of the Quake Families Trust, I would like to thank you all for being here with us, sharing this special occasion with us. It was 22nd, 10 years ago, that changed the lives of so many people and has also changed our city forever. We remember our loved ones who we lost. We express our feelings and sorrow on this special Memorial Day at this special memorial place. We remember all the wonderful memories, the wonderful times we spent with our loved ones who we miss dearly. It is hard to realize that our loved ones who we share the beautiful memories with became the memories. I realize that a special bond have been established between our family and a special friendship have been formed between families irrespective of their culture and country of origin. A bond and a friendship that our loved ones created and are part of it. 10 years ago, 185 lives lost, thousands injured and traumatized, 85% of them because of building collapse. 95% were avoidable. Today commemorate 10 years of injustice and mistreatment. Today remind us of our responsibility to make sure we learn from this tragic experience and honor those lovely people we lost by ensuring their dreams are kept alive, by ensuring this will not happen again. Humanity call upon us in difficult times to be kind, to help each other, and to support each other.
Thank you, Mayor Dalziel, Dr. Te Maritau, and Professor Man Al-Kaisi, and Elizabeth Carrero. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for 12:51, the Army Band will play a song for us. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as the clock approaches 12:51, the time of the earthquake that struck 10 years ago, please stand and, if you wish, turn toward the memorial wall as the ship's bell will toll, and we observe 1 minute's silence in remembrance of those who lost their lives and all those whose lives were changed forever. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. On behalf of the delegation, I welcome Her Excellency the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, ministers and other parliamentarians, Selwyn District Council Mayor Sam Broughton, Waimakariri District Mayor Dan Gordon, Hurunui District Mayor Marie Black, Sir Bob and Lady Parker, and councillors, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, representatives of the emergency services, the families and friends of those whose names are engraved on this memorial, and everyone who has gathered here today. O Tautahi welcomes you. I now invite representatives of the first responders and representatives of the international communities to read the names of the 185 people who lost their lives on February the 22nd, 2011. The names will be read as they are inscribed on the memorial wall.
Joseph Joe Tiho Paio. Lisa Patricia Willems. Jaden David Harris. Rachel Elizabeth Conley. Matty Stewart McKeekin. Adrian Isabel Lindsay. Shane Robert Tomlin. Ian Foldesi. Norman Lee. Christopher Grant Homan. Jamie Robert McDowell Gilbert. Kelsey Sanita Moore and Tanisha Gail Rose Prattley.
Christopher Smitty Patrick Smith. Donald Ashby Cowie. Andrew Christian Ross Craig. Owen Thomas McKenna. Offa Benjamin Mizrahi. Offa Levy. Gabi Engel. Linda Isabel Arnold. Jennifer Ann Donaldson. Graham and Joan Weald. Melissa Ann Neal.
Baxter Warwick Gowland. Catherine McNichol Lunny. Patrick John Coop. Jane Marie Alberts. Amanda Jane Hooper Nay Christie. Kerry Stewart Bird. Milani Jane Brown Nay Gentle. John Barry Craig Barry. Kelly Lynn Maynard Nay Halaka. Helen Margaret Chambers. John Joseph J.J. O'Connor. Adam Stephen Fisher.
Blair James O'Connor. Estelle Marie Cullen. Emma Shahar Ridden. Julie Catherine Wong. Michael Stewart Coulter Stiant. Adrian A.D. Meredith. Philip John MacDonald. Leslie Jane Thompson. Linda Rosemary Parker. Nina Jane Bishop. Marion Isabella McCurdy Hilbers, née Berry. Diane Mary Faulkner.
Beverly Faye Kennedy, née Greenfell. Elizabeth Jane Grant. Teresa McLean, née Elms. Heather Marilyn Meadows. Dr. Masoon Mahadi Abbas. Dr. Hussam Sabah Alani. Janet Dawn Mealer. Christine Trish Stevenson. Dr. Dominic Joseph Gerard Bell. Dr. Alan Alexander Sinclair. Susan Lynn Selway. Pamela Marie Bryan. Kyle Brandon Jack Midgley.
Shin Su Didam Yaman. Joanna Claire Didam née Beveridge. Isaac James Thompson. Joanne May Giles. Samuel Reese Gibb. Reese Frank Brookbanks. Murray John Wood. Stephen Robert Wright. Andrew James Llewellyn Bishop. Donna Mary Manning, née Gardner. Huo Si Wen. Mandy Jane Uriel, née Walker. Susan Patricia Shooter. Paul Woo Ke Soon.
Matthew Matty Lyle Beaumont. Sean Lucas. Valerie Volnov. Elsa Torres de Frood. Tiataki Tairakina. Brian Warrington Taylor. Gillian Sayers. Cristiano Carazzo Chandler. Sandra Jin Hee. Heidi Julie Berg. Deborah Ann Roberts. Tamara Leah Harker. Dr. Tamara Savetanova.
Ivy Jane Boholst Cabonilas. Imabel Cabahog Anoba. Rhea May Sumalpong. Jewel Jose Francisco. Ezra May Sabayton Midale. Jesse Lloyd A. Redoble. John Christopher Villegas Chua. Valkin Descalsota Bensurto. Mary Louise Ann Bantilio Amantilio. Lalaine Colado Agatep. Erica Avir Reyes Nora.
Li Xinhong Erica. 何文。周小丽。冷经验。李德 Luca and 叶彩英。赖长。张维宇。静曼。韩希玲。李婉菊。
王涛、陈阳 Sunny、王丽敏、蔡玉、徐玲玲、涂慧云、张迪迪、钟燕桃、张辉、徐秀娟、李霞。
100万春樹、北川康弘、浜崎由紀、今岡敏子、土橋飛鳥、鈴木陽子、畑由美子、早坂美希、平林優子、大坪典子、山口綾子、玉野弘子、日向理香、櫻井陽子、
星葉ひふみ、川畑京子、平内よし子、堀田めぐみ、作田さや、蓮本ゆうき、金丸かよ、菊田沙織、村上恵美、山谷美奈、内平ゆりか、横田咲、石黒智樹、新井まりな、
นางสาวฤทยาเหลืองสุรพีสกุลนางสาววันเพ็ญปรีกลางนางสาวจิตราไวยทยธาดาพงศ์นางสาวสิริพันธ์วงบุญงามนางสาวธนิดานางสาวธนิดาอินสังกูลนางพิมพรเลี้ยงเชื้อ
You Na On, You Gil Fon, Philip Graham Reeve Copyard, Elizabeth Ann Sinclair, Stephen Andrew Cochrane, Steve, Jeff Palisa Sant, Gregory James Tobin, Marielle Falladeau, Ross Henry Bush, Maureen Valerie Fletcher, Scott William Emerson Lucy, Paul Clarence Dunlop, Neil Glynn Stocker, Natasha Sarah Hadfield, Betty Irene Dixon,
Jaden Brighton Andrews Howland, Pamela Christina Barkle, Desley Ann Thompson, Joseph Stewart Rutledge and Lucy Rutledge, Gilly Murphy, Ian Neville Caldwell, Wei Fung Lau, Beverly May and Earl Nicholas Stick, Iris Botting, Owen Morris Wright, Rita Ann Stewart.
Donna Marie Manning, Nee Gardner, Ye Tai Ing Kathy, Lee Shah Olive. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would now like to invite members of the Quake Families Trust, Julie Hibbs and Vanessa McGregor, to read the poem, I Live On.
You may not be able to see me, though you think that I am gone. Inside your heart, you carry me. So I live on, I live on. I know you feel an emptiness of words. You feel sorry of words we left unsaid. Release your pain, forgive yourself, for I already did. The love you gave, I took with me and left my love for you. So now I know some time has passed. Here is what I ask of you. Share my life and remember me. To those you love, out loud.
And I will become part of them, for that would make me proud. Those little quirks, the quips I said, please share those memories, for there is no plaque or stone that would better honour me. I loved you then, and love you still, and will forevermore. So take my love and pass it down. That's what my legacy is for. Give my memories, my love as gifts, and do not mourn that I have gone. Just place my love in your children's hearts, and you will know that I live on.
Her Excellency the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General, will now read a message from Her Majesty, the Queen.
Nai tuahuriri, nau I whakatau I a mātou I te rā maumahara nei. Kei ngā mana, kei ngā reo, rau rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. The following message is from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. On the 10th anniversary of the Canterbury earthquakes, as you gather to remember those lost and reflect on the devastating effects these earthquakes had on Christchurch, my thoughts are with you all. The loss of life was both sudden and tragic, profoundly affecting many people in New Zealand and around the world. While there are many sad memories of that terrible time, there is also solace in remembering how your community rose to the challenge of rebuilding your lives and supporting each other. You displayed great fortitude in the face of sudden, overwhelming loss. Since that time, you have continued to work to rebuild your city and your community, looking to a positive future. My prayers are with all those marking today's solemn anniversary. Elizabeth R. Whaia te iti kahurangi ki te tuahu koe, me maunga teitei.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Her Worship the Mayor of Christchurch, the Honourable Leanne Dalziel, will now read a message from former Mayor of Christchurch, Sir Bob Parker.
Today I feel sad and humble, but also very proud to be sitting alongside you as we remember the horror of that dreadful day 10 years ago. It was a nightmare that was delivered on that mild, sunlit, late summer's day, a moment that changed everything and everyone forever. A moment that caused a level of destruction and casualty that none of us will ever forget. For those who were not here at that time, it would be difficult to really understand what we felt, what we shared, what we lost. Those who were here or whose loved ones were here share a bond that is impossible to explain beyond this place. So many families still carry the pain of loss. Our thoughts are with you all, and we will never forget the mothers, fathers, children and wider whānau that you mourn every day. Today, we also put our arms around those amongst us who are still carrying injuries and memories that won't go away. So many of you have faced ongoing difficulty and disruption to your lives. We also say a heartfelt thank you to all of you who came from throughout New Zealand, from around the world to help us at our time of need. We will never forget what you did for us. On this day, we also remember the collective community spirit that lifted us in our most difficult hours. May the araha from that very same community give you strength today. Kia kaha, Sir Bob.
Thank you, Mayor Dalziel. I now invite the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, to address us.
Tēnā koutou I ne māta waka. Nai tua huriri, nai tahu whānui, tēnā koutou. Nau mai whakatau mai ki tēnei rā maumahara e tūru whenua. Āpiti hono tātai hono. Te hunga mātei ke te hunga mātei. Āpiti hono tātai hono. Te hunga ore ki te hunga ora. Tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Tēnā tātou katoa. Today marks a decade since the February 22nd earthquake and the tragic loss of 185 lives. It's a chance for all of us to remember those people and stand with the families, the loved ones and the friends who grieved them. In some respects, 10 years sounds like a long time. But for many, it will feel like just yesterday that Christchurch, this region, and indeed New Zealand was rocked by the events of February 22nd. The earthquake and aftershocks affected people in complex and diverse ways. The toll could not have been more significant, and daily reminders made it harder. A fractured landscape, aftershocks, struggling friends and neighbours, and children with deep and unseen scars. 10 years on, there will be people still living their daily lives with the long shadow of that day. Today, I want to take the opportunity to say to all those who may still feel overwhelmed, who may still feel uncertain, sad, tired, anxious. You survived an event which by right should not occur in anyone's lifetime. I hope you find the space to be kind to yourself, as you've no doubt been to others who you knew were carrying the same burden. To those who lost loved ones, the grief has been even more immense. Today, we not only mark the loss of 185 lives, but we remember and we celebrate these people, the joy they gave, the memories made, the lives they lived. Haere, haere, haere atura. I remember so clearly how the country threw its support behind Canterbury in the months and years following the quake, raising funds, holding tributes, downing tools during moments of silence. We all felt so keenly the enormity of what had happened. It's the Kiwi way to be stoic, and sometimes the pressure to be okay or to have moved on with the passage of time can feel very pronounced. But healing takes time. And even as time passes, none of us will forget. I want to acknowledge all past and present members of the Quake Families Trust, which has provided such significant support over the last decade and helped shape the annual commemorations. I want to acknowledge all those who are part of relief efforts on or after February 22nd, emergency service staff, the Christchurch Mayor and City Councillors, ministers, members of parliament, international diplomats, family and friends. And I would like to acknowledge the children who lived through the earthquake and grew up in its aftermath. Some of these children will be teenagers now, or have left school and started jobs or university. In the past, we've called this the generation of the rebuild. But they are also a generation that will create a legacy. Here in Canterbury, you saw the impact of a natural disaster on children. And professionals across Canterbury, educationalists, mental health specialists, occupational therapists, social workers, all came together to design a program to support those children. You made an enormous difference. And now, that program will be rolled out across New Zealand. Out of such a traumatic time for our children, I hope grows a comfort and support for all children and an entire generation to come. And finally, today we remember the many people who died in the earthquake who were foreign nationals. The families of these may not have been able to be here today due to travel restrictions, but our flags fly at half-mast for them today too. It's been a hugely difficult decade for this city. At times, I'm sure it's felt almost impossible. But as we look ahead to the coming decade, I see hope. I see energy and optimism. And I see Christchurch taking its rightful place amongst New Zealand's best and brightest cities. I'd like to finish today with a poem by Helen Lowe from Leaving the Red Zone, an anthology of earthquake poetry. The poem, titled The Sparrows, talks about how birds were absent in the city following the earthquake and the silence where birdsong used to be. Quote, I threw old bread onto the island of grass in our own grey sea and waited and waited. And then finally, they came, their wings clouding the sun.
Thank you, Prime Minister. The New Zealand Army Band will now perform Hoki Hoki Tonu Mai.
Oh
Thank you to the New Zealand Army Band and that absolutely beautiful moving waiata. I would now like to invite Dr. Te Maritau Upoko Nai Tua Huriri for our closing mihi and blessing.
The most important thing we can say at this stage, and we say it often, but we say it with meaning, kia tau te aroha nō me te rangi Māria, kei rongi o tātou katoa. May peace be upon us, and may we go with the grace of God. Kia ora.
Thank you, Dr. Te Maritau. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal service. Official wreaths will now be laid, followed by an opportunity for everyone to visit the memorial wall. We ask you to remain where you are until the wreath laying has concluded. Thank you for your patience as official wreath layers make their way to the memorial wall to place wreaths in remembrance of those who lost their lives. All those laying wreaths on behalf of organisations or representing their countries are invited to follow the official party to the bridge in preparation for laying your wreath. However, please remain in place until the official party has passed. The first wreaths will be placed by Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, on behalf of the people of New Zealand. The Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, on behalf of the Government of New Zealand. The Honourable Leanne Dalziel, Mayor of Christchurch, on behalf of the people of Christchurch. Dr. Te Maritau Upoko, on behalf of the Nai Tua Huriri. Val Craig and Mawa Alkaisi from the Quake Families Trust, on behalf of the bereaved families. The New Zealand Army Piper, Elizabeth McCarthy, will accompany them with mist-covered mountains. Could I please ask members of the public at the rear to please make way onto the road so that the Governor-General may greet the first responders, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I invite you to stand, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the official wreath laying. Once they pay Wreaths will now be placed by District International, first responders and recovery agency representatives. I invite bereaved families and injured survivors to lead us to the memorial wall too, to reflect or place your own tributes in remembrance of those who lost their lives. As you cross the bridge, you may wish to drop a flower into Otokaro to contribute to the river of flowers.
you.